Looks good. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and move on to the bottom lip. All right, and we'll do this basically in the same manner as we did the top lip. We'll look at the different components here. So when I did the initial line drawing for this picture, you might remember that I indicated value changes, like where there are highlights, I put that. Where there's a shadow, I put the shadow, and reflected light, and so on. So let me go ahead and review those now and show you what we did. And if you think about a sphere, and those common different levels of shading or value that you see in a sphere or any three-dimensional shape, you've got you got like the highlight that's on the ball of the sphere. I mean, like on one side of it, where the light's directly hitting it, and you've got your midtones and coarse shadow, and you've got reflected light and cast shadow. Well, all of those are present here and the lip here. So this is our highlight where the light is directly hitting the lip. This is our midtone. This will be our coarse shadow. And then right along the rim, the edge of the bottom lip, this is the reflected light. You might remember that I mentioned that here when we were doing this. And then I started on this side to do the shadow next to it. That's the cast shadow, and we're going to continue the cast shadow. That's the shadow that the lip is casting onto the skin below it. That's right along here. So we've got all of those 5 different levels of in place here, and that'll help guide us as we continue to shape, as well as the photograph. The photograph's going to help guide us, so you should have your photograph opened and flip back between that and the video as you follow along. And yeah, let's get to it. We're going to work on the lip right now. So we're going to start placing the midtones. And if you remember when I did the top lip, I did vertical lines, and then I also did some horizontal lines, and that helps build the texture of the lip. Because if you look at the close-up picture of the lip, you see a lot of vertical lines going on, and you see some horizontal lines too. So that kind of helps put on both of those. So we'll do the same thing here. Now with the vertical lines, when I do the vertical lines, I'm not going to necessarily just do them all straight up and down. I'm going to follow the curvature of the lip, because if you look at the photograph, you'll see there are vertical lines, but they're not just like right here. They're not just going straight up and down. They're going curved. They're curving along with the contours of the lip. So I'm going to try to keep that same contour as I put the shading on. So I mean, I'm not going to. I'm going to be going in some different directions here, but I just want to be aware of that, and I want you to be aware of that too as you are putting your shading in. So I've got my 2B pencil, and here we go. It also doesn't hurt to leave a little opening here along this side where the lip is receding back, because it's just like there's reflected light on this end, this edge. There can also be some of that present along this edge of the lip. Same as what we did up here. All right. So kind of imagine I could continue with this if I wanted to, but it just and just, I could do the mid-tone all the way through and then shade over like we've been doing different parts. I just want to remember that this is going to be shadow. I don't want to cover that up and forget about this line. So if I do the whole thing, I can go ahead and do that. I'm going to stop short though of where the reflected light is. This rim right here. And this will also help us to get that complete contour of the lip if we go all the way down from top to bottom. We'll again work around the highlighted parts here. I'm going to kind of work into these this border though, because I don't want that border present when I start blending all this together and pulling out the highlights. I don't want a harsh border. I want a softer border like we have here where you can't see the outline. So I might do some overlap, and of course I'll probably soften that out with the eraser when I start getting into that too. So we can still see where the midtones are and where this will be our core shadow here. So good. So we didn't completely cover that up where we can't see it. Keep going on all the way up to the corner of the mouth. And here we'll just put some lines going in this direction. All right, now that we've got that established, that first part established, we'll go ahead and put our shadow along the lower part. So here I'm going to start mixing it up a little, and I'll still go vertically, but I'll start going across too horizontally. Okay, remember to be aware of the reflected light along the edge of the lip and don't cover that up completely. And I still have my border here that I placed when I did the line drawing. So I'm kind of using that to decide how much shadow to put on the lip, along the lip. Okay, this is my reflected light right here. And underneath that is the core shadow. And I'll do the core shadow when I do the chin. I'm not going to do the core shadow right now as I do the lip. So I'll leave this part alone. Here's the reflected light. And then above that right here is my, cast shadow. This is the cast shadow that I'll do with the chin. I think I said core shadow. Reflected light right here, and then the core shadow right here above the reflected light. All right, we're going to start doing a little in the opposite direction now. And I'm going to start just to make this more of a gradual transition. I'll bring this up into the mid-tone areas too here. So we want it kind of dark along where the reflected light is, and then gradually get lighter as we get into the mid-tones. And I think I'll just continue like doing this horizontal pattern, making a little crosshatch here, lightening up my touch in the mid-tone areas. Okay, somewhat darker here in the corner. And we see a few more. If you look at the photograph, we see some slight color variations in the lip. So they're not that strong. They're subtle. I'm just going to put a few of those as I see them. Just little variations, little darker areas here and there, and still in the mid-tone area, and I might go back and rework that end some more after I blend it, but just put a few here and there as we see them. Some up here along the top. Might be the part of the shininess or glossiness from the lipstick, who knows.